Hello, Learn 11 folks. Um, I apologize for calling you guys at the end of video 1 because we have all kinds of people, so I will call you folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the third and final lecture video of the Learning Preference series. This is a quick video to go over the slides that have to do with critical thinking and also chapter 7 of your Becoming a Master's Student textbook. Let me just make sure one more time that we are, yes. All right. I have so many, my screen looks different than the one that I'm sharing with you, so I apologize for that. Okay, we're gonna make this bigger. Okay, so what we're going over today in this lecture, oh, let me tell you, geez, what you need for this lecture. Okay, we're gonna go through slides 21 through 23. Those are the last slides. You'll need the critical thinking activity on Canvas if you're interested in completing this activity. This activity is not due for homework. It will not be due for points, but it is a way for you to understand more deeply how the different ways of critically thinking about material when you're learning it, when you're digesting it, and this may help you. I know it's helped me. Well, it may help you to approach studying for different courses, the different ways we can study for different courses, the different approaches. Okay, so if you are interested in learning how this applies, you'll do the activity. I would like you to please, of course, listen to the lecture part of this, of these slides, but the activity itself is for you to apply what you're learning, okay? Alrighty, so first I wanna go through, here we have that again. Okay, now we're back. First, I'm going to go through what each of these levels means, and then I will show you the activity, okay? So in Chapter 7 of Becoming a Master's Student, you see something that looks like this. It's a pyramid that has the different levels of critical thinking. The first level is about it's called higher and lower order of thinking or learning. Okay, so the lowest order or most basic way to learn something is to remember it, is to memorize it. Now, there are classes and careers where we must remember things and commit it to memory and always know it. It's very, very important. So that's not to say that this isn't an important way to learn. It just means it's the most basic form of learning something, okay? Because most of us won't just memorize something and use it later. That's the application. We have to understand it first before we can apply it, okay? So this is what the pyramid is saying. So the first basic way to learn something is to memorize it. And then we must understand it. And this means that we, in understanding, we're able to explain or summarize what we've learned to somebody else or to ourselves. And then once we understand something, we can apply it to life. So if you understand, if you've memorized, for instance, what a comma splice is in English, in grammar, and you understand how it's used, or you understand the reason we have a semicolon to fix the comma splice, then you'll also, from there, learn how to apply it in your own writing. It's the same for mathematical formulas, okay? And then you can analyze in places of your paper whether or not you need the semicolon, or whether or not the semicolon is the most appropriate use of punctuation for the sentence you're using. Maybe you want a period instead of a semicolon. From there, you can evaluate why, or, again, explain why you use the period instead of the semicolon. And then you can kind of look at all of the ways that these pieces of punctuation are used in other people's writing and evaluate what was best, what you liked more, what was most effective, and why. And then from there, you're able to create something brand new. So in writing, it may be even creating different forms of writing, like a new form of poetry, or a new form of, of communicating, of writing an essay. Maybe that wasn't the best example, but I just wanted you to see how different memorizing is from creating something brand new, or even evaluating whether something works or not. Okay, remembering is just committing information to the storing it in the brain. Okay, so now Bloom also, with this pyramid, he's talking about the lower order thinking skills and the higher order thinking skills. And what he says, or what the chapter is talking about, is that lower forms of the base of the pyramid, these forms of thinking are really ways for us to search for the correct answers, or for the right answers. We're also, when we're in a class and we're tested, if we memorize something and we get it incorrect, there's a correct answer that we know we can find. Okay, we memorized it incorrectly, or we wrote the wrong thing down incorrectly. Or if we explain something out loud, someone can correct us, right? There's a right answer. However, levels 4, 5, and 6 are process-related thinking, meaning there's not necessarily one answer or correct viewpoint or way of doing something. There are several ways. There are several ways to apply something you've learned. There are several ways of analyzing new material, or different ways to create something, okay? So the highest levels of critical thinking are really asking us to use more time and energy when we're studying and when we're learning. So what the activity is, let me switch here to show you, actually, let me stay on this slide here. What you're being asked to do on page 1 is to go through the pyramid and list keywords and questions for each level of the pyramid that you find in your book, okay, that you find in chapter 7. It's there for you. And then the activity pages 2 through 6 are going to have you come up with activities or assignments for each level of the pyramid that you have used these particular forms of thinking or critical thinking, and then explain how you went about doing that. So I'm going to switch here and give you an example of what I mean. So if you look here, this is what I mean. On page 1, you're going to write, some key questions and also keywords that will help you remember what each of these levels are. And I don't know why that line should be here for you on your printout. Okay, and then starting on page 2 through 6, you're going under remembering. For memorization, I'm asking you, in which class did you use your memory skills? And so I might say Learn 11. I used memory skills in Learn 11. And then the next question is, what were you doing in class, or what activity were you working on while studying, doing homework, or in a lecture when you used remembering? Okay, and then I'm going to answer, I used memory skills when I memorized the 4 different components of emotional intelligence and their definitions while studying for my first test in Learn 11. I made note cards and a study guide that helped me to visualize the information better and made it easier for me to quiz myself later. So the more details you give here on how you remembered whatever it was that you did, or the next one is understanding, and the next one is applying. How you use these skills. The more detailed you are, the more you're going to see that you have used all of these skills in your courses. And then when you're asked to do something for a homework assignment, or when you're studying for a test, you can choose what is the best form of thinking or learning for this particular subject, okay, or activity. And then here's just some personal reflection questions. What's one thing you noticed about yourself or your experience while using remembering? Okay, so I might say, I realized, let's see, let me type it out for you. I realized while remembering, or while creating note cards to help me remember better, that I am a visual learner. I can remember things better when I write them down. Okay? And I'll put that in red for you, and I will make it bigger for you. Then look at me trying to make it perfect, huh? All right, so that is how you'll answer each part of this activity. And then at the end are some reflection questions, follow-up questions, that'll just help you digest more of how you're using these skills and how you can use them in the future in your other classes, and then moving forward once you're done with school. All right, again, this is not due for homework. This is just an activity for your own benefit and for deeper understanding of Bloom's different levels of critical thinking. Thank you for joining me for this lecture, you guys. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you did too. And I will see you in the discussion board. And remember to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Bye-bye.